Welcome to Insurance Claim Radio, where leading hail loss consumer advocate Phil Coutu and his team of experts teach you how to avoid the pitfalls of hail damage claims and how to use his team of experts to get what you truly deserve under your insurance policy. Now, here's your host of Insurance Claim Radio, Phil Coutu.
Hi, I'm Phil Coutu, and we're live with InsuranceClaimsRadio.com. We're a show that helps the consumer and policyholder learn how to navigate their insurance claims. We are coming up to hail season. We're right at the start of it in Colorado and other places. And we're going to talk, we were just finished the show talking about preparing for your hail claim and how forensics are so important sometimes to larger claims, even smaller claims. We're going to start out, I was talking about how the insurance company has a claim at a couple or $250,000, and we're fighting over if the flat roof was damaged. And we've got tests going down this week. We're doing an uplift test, check design pressures, and I suspect it is damaged since it got hit by 2-inch plus hail, that membrane. And you can't see the damage, but that roof is loose now and could blow off. And we're going to get into other kinds of forensic damages. Let's start talking about the type of shingle you have. The type of damage that can happen from hail impact to a shingle, and the difference how the insurance industry with their engineers is defining the damage versus how the policy is written. Ryan, so let's go to Ryan from Blue Ribbon Exteriors. And I forgot to introduce the panel. We're getting right into it. We've got Ed Levy here, Levy Law Group. Ed's an expert at insurance litigation. We got Stevie Solomon in the orange cap, and he is an ex-shingle manufacturer rep that's still heavily involved in the industry. And obviously Ryan to the right of me, Blue Ribbon Exteriors. He's an expert at hail, residential and commercial claims. So Ryan, what are you finding out there on the lighter damage side? So let's talk about a few cases you've had. We can talk residential or commercial when insurance companies have said that the roof's repairable. Let's say maybe a shingle roof.
Yeah, I mean, we run into where they want to repair. It even happens in tile, right? When you start looking at tile or any kind of specialty material, that the insurance comes out and their first thing, and everybody needs to understand, even as an insured, that the insurance is a business, right? They're looking at this from a standpoint of how much are we going to have to output? How much are we going to have to move? They're trying to make as much money as they can on your policy. So their thing is, hey, look, we're just going to go back and we're going to only replace a certain amount. So we find out from the insurance or talking with the insurance adjuster that typically we have one right now that they are saying, hey, you only need to replace 24 tiles, right? As a contractor going back and looking at the claim and looking at what's going on, they didn't want to run an ITEL, which is a lab report for you insureds out there that tells you whether that tile is discontinued or not discontinued. And two is when you're pulling that tile, what you should be concerned about is if the insurance company is giving you 28, the contractor is going to do buy one, right? Because every time we pull one out, it's possible we're going to break it and we have to go back in and replace it. So, and then it becomes if we can get that tile or not replaced, is it an exact match, close to a match, and so forth. So we're dealing with one of those right now where I told the actual insured, hey, we need to look. I'm going to pull an ITEL really quick for you, and we're going to walk through this, and I have a way I think I can get the entire roof bought if it comes back that there's not a match or it was discontinued. So we run into that. We run into shingles where those shingles can't be bought back and that or they're discontinued and or they want us to put architectural on top of 3-tab. So, I mean, as a insured, I think that you need to be aware of what kind of contractor do I have? Do they know how to argue those portions? And can we get through the piece? I know we're going to a break here for just a second.
So we're talking about forensic damages and winning claims that maybe have more damage than the insurance company or industry thought or your adjuster thought. You're live with Insurance Claims Radio, and we'll be right back after the break.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're here live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. I'm your host, Phil Coutu. You can reach me or anyone on the panel at 303-997-4247. That's 303-997-4247. And you can text me at 720-296-3492. We got Ryan from Blue Ribbon Exteriors, Ed Levy, insurance lawyer, Levy Law Group, and Stevie Solomon, manufacturer rep. And we were talking about lighter damages. Ryan was talking just before the break about claims that he can win through ITEL. And let's talk about some of those claims you have won.
Well, let me interrupt
Okay.
that for a sec, because before the break, you actually used the term, I can get that roof bought. Explain to our listeners what that means.
That means that when I'm talking to the adjuster, I believe that there's an opportunity that we can get the whole roof bought by the insurance company, because typically what happens is the insurance adjuster comes out, they're trying to do the least amount for the most amount of good for the homeowner, or in this case they want to put a different type of tile that's a different color up there that's going to look spotted, and the homeowner's not happy about that.
So the insurance adjuster comes out and says, 24 of the tiles are damaged. I know the roof is red, but use these green tiles and we'll be fine. Just replace them. And your response to that for the homeowner is,
hey, let's take a deeper dive into what's really going on, right? I would say it wouldn't be green, it'd be pink. They get as close as they could to the color.
but still noticeably different.
Noticeably different. So what we try to do is go back and look. So maybe they had 28. You're going to break them coming out right around the sides as you dislodge them. So have they really paid for the right amount? Let's get that worked out first, Mr. Adjuster. And then let's look at the whole picture, right? Is that tile discontinued, not discontinued, and so forth? And I'm not trying to help a contractor out, but as an insured, your question should be, is how are you going to put me back to pre-loss, right? Everybody says Colorado's not a matching state. We're talking about Colorado. Doesn't really matter. We look at it from a long-term perspective of how do we make sure that you go back whole and that it's back to pre-loss.
So Ryan brings up a great argument because he talks about matching. So there's states like Montana has a great matching statute. Minnesota, I've been involved in storms there over my 34-year career. And what the state or the legislators will pass a statute that says, that you have to match. So if you've got 1 or 2 elevations of siding damaged, and it's discontinued, if it's discontinued, you got to match it. Now, you have to be careful because a lot of policies are writing clauses that say that they don't owe for it if it's discontinued or can't match, and that's a strong position. So you might be getting a little less of a premium, but a hailstorm comes through and you have an average size house and your siding's maybe $14,000, $12,000, $18,000 to replace, and they're willing to have to pay for the one side. And you're like, but I can't even get anything that looks close. You're on your own. Now, with some of us professionals here, though, sometimes we can still win those claims because there are some laws of indemnification and there are some laws you got to bring you back to real value under replacement cost policies. And this is why you want one of the experts on the panel. And I'm your host, Phil Coutu, so everybody knows I'm a public adjuster, formerly an insurance adjuster. I still am an insurance adjuster. I just haven't been working that side recently. So I've worked on all sides of the fence. I'm a roof inspector, roofer, general contractor, and insurance appraiser. And I also work as an expert witness, and I'm a liaison with several lawyers in Colorado and outside of Colorado on these troubled claims. And so we're trying to always find a way, and there's a lot of regular contractors that can't always get to that place where some of the people on this panel can. And I specialize myself just in large loss commercial now, unless it's a residential by referral. And Ryan here with Blue Ribbon Exteriors, he does both commercial and residential. He's also Colorado Front Range based. And we'll get into maybe some of the legalities. Ed can maybe speak a little bit on that, but we found that often we are able to get that roof replaced if there was significant damage and it's a discontinued product, because if you can't fit the product in, or make it watertight? How are you putting them back to pre-loss condition? And these are all things that come in, and you really need an expert to help you navigate this process. Sometimes it's minor, and I understand the public, they don't want to be hassled with it. One thing that can happen, though, is another storm can come by several years later and you're past the statute of limitations. And then they blame all the damage on the old storm. So it's really important to have somebody looking out for you. And you can reach anybody on this panel at 303-997-4247.
What, and I'm going to direct this back at Ed. So Ed, I mean, because, we can't really, as a GC, talk policy and go through the policy. What are you seeing on the match portion in Colorado, and how are you getting through that portion for everybody that's out there that's an insured, either commercial or residential? How do you help that portion out for the GC or the roofer?
Well, we're seeing more and more exclusions in this area, where it's not covered by the policy, or there's limits on the dollar amount for matching, and there's limits on the amount of effort that they have to put in to match. So it all goes back to the policy and what those limitations are in the policy. So a lot of that can be addressed up front, buying the insurance in the first place and getting into that contract. Other than that, you have to rely on the insurer to the extent, because they have a good faith obligation to adjust the claim properly. And, to the limits of the policy or to the limits of the exclusion, you just have to convince the insurance company they need to do the right thing, or using the legal processes or our arbitration to go ahead and force them to do the right thing.
So if I'm a homeowner or an insured for a commercial or residential property, and I've purchased my insurance, would your recommendation, Ed, be that they give you a call and say, hey, before hail season starts, can you read through my policy? If something were to happen, I just want to better understand, as an insured, what I can do to go back to pre-loss should something happen.
Absolutely. There's always, people should be reviewing their policies at least on an annual basis. Certainly once they suffer a loss or think they may have suffered a loss. And more importantly, as well, that they should be shopping in advance to make sure that those coverages are there. What does this exclusion really mean? Did I buy RCV? Did I buy ACV? Is there an exclusion?
And Ed has a program with me that we're launching here shortly. And it's a pre-loss program where you get a few hours free of legal advice if you pre-sign up your future claim in advance with us. That means that we will take a look at your policy through it. And here's why it's important. Let's say that you bought a policy to save a little bit. And this is for commercial policies, because obviously it'd be inundated residential. So you have a commercial policy and you decide not to forgo the ordinance and law or the increased cost of construction. Maybe you have a wood deck, right? And your wood deck is planks and you're no longer allowed to have that with your shingles. Well, if you don't have the increased cost of the construction, it's really problematic. There's one way we can try to get it. It's very difficult, but you could be paying $150,000 out of pocket for maybe saving $3,000, $2,000 a year, sometimes less than that on a smaller apartment block or whatever. That increased cost of construction to bring windows up to code, your roof up to code, your electrical up to code now, that would be out of pocket for those discounted policies. Also, you want to watch out for the high percentage deductibles. Big problem. Some of these policies are selling have anywhere from 2 to 10% deductibles. They started bringing them in years ago. And if you get caught, people are like, oh, it's 10% of the claim. No, it's 10% of your building value amount or your insurance policy. So if I've got one right now that's, I got to figure out what percentage is. It's $9 million, and they have a $360,000 deductible. The property is valued at. So I have to do the percentage. 9,090,000. I think it's about 4% then. That's a huge deductible when you get a hail claim. You're paying $330,000 out of pocket. A lot of times your claim's only $400,000 or $500,000, and you're paying 80-90% out of pocket. But you still paid a significant premium. So these are really important reasons why we started this program, which starts in a few weeks, where if you are willing to pre-sign your loss with us, the experts at this panel, that we will give you a few hours of legal free, and we'll go through the policy. And we'll look at your building and tell you, okay, you really should carry this coverage because it's a high probability in this event and this event. So it can be really helpful to the commercial consumer.
Can certainly save you thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars, and adjust the coverage, or say, hey, did you realize that you don't have law and ordinance here, and if you have to get rid of this historic feature in your building and change it, it's not covered, and that's going to all be out of pocket.
Well, and another big thing is a lot of times there's a separate deductible for wind and hail. There's a lot of separate deductibles. I was just reading a policy this morning, and they have a $10,000 standard deductible on this commercial building, but they have $100,000 for wind and hail. And since it's a multi-property scheduling on this policy, I noticed that if the policy exceeds $10 million, it's a $250,000 deductible. So you might only have $400,000 or $500,000 hail claim damage, and you're paying a $250,000 deductible. That's pretty steep, and it's pretty steep if you're a condo association. So those are things you want to look out for to see what is it worth the value what you're signing up for. And that's just so important. Sometimes people actually fall off their chair when we tell them, hey, your claim's $200,000, but your deductible is $250,000. Or your claim's $200,000, your ordinance and law is $150,000. You have a $250,000 deductible, no ordinance and law coverage.
Yeah,
or you're getting $20,000.
And what do they usually say right after you say that? Oh, I didn't know. I'm so furious, because we're all clicking and signing stuff. And,
right. So it's really important to go through your coverages. Make sure your buildings are covered properly. It's also important with your homes now. There's percentage deductibles now going into the homes.
And I just want everybody to know out there too, even if you're an HOA or you're a facility management company, that Blue Ribbon Exteriors and Construction, we offer a free drone video before hail season to show if there's any damage out there. We'll do a full drone look at all your roofs for no cost. That way, if you do have damage that comes up, we can show the adjuster what's going on. I'm sure if you talk to Phil as well, and you're an HOA or a facility management company or so forth, they'll do the same for you as well.
Right. It's just important to get a really good professional. We're going to take a quick break. We're live with insuranceclaimsradio.com. You can reach us at 303-997-4247. You can also text me at 720-296-3492.
You're listening to Insurance Claim Radio. Be sure to stay tuned. We'll be right back after these important messages.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience, and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftop-restoration.com.
Welcome back to Insurance Claim Radio. Now, here's Phil Coutu and his team.
Hi, we're back with Insurance Claims Radio. I've got Ryan from Blue Ribbon Exteriors, Ed Levy from Levy Law Group, an expert insurance attorney, Stevie Solomon, manufacturer's rep, specializes in the manufacturing side of shingles and building products. And we were talking about the importance of understanding your policy as a consumer since we're in hail season, and what you might be purchasing or not. And the real important thing is there's a lot of discounted products on the market when it comes to insurance policies. And we're going to talk about maybe a quick checklist of things to watch out for percentage deductibles. So you are saving a premium, but you can have a percentage deductible ranging from low percentiles to as much as 10%. They've brought them in the hurricane zone, and they're starting to tick up here. I haven't seen a 10%er lately in Colorado, so I'm not sure if that's legal or not. It probably is, but I have seen many 5%ers, and those are significant. And the way the deductible works is it's a percentage of your building property amount, not of the insurance claim. So if you have $1 million claim, but a $10 million building, you're getting hit with a $500,000 deductible. And then on top of it, if you didn't purchase increased cost of construction or ordinance and law, that's for additional work because codes have changed. You might blow your coverage on that. So you might be getting a smaller percentage than you thought. And the cost can be huge. Also, you want to watch out for segregated out deductibles, meaning like you might have a separate fire deductible if this happens, a wind and hail deductible, or just a wind deductible we've even seen. And those can be quite high, stated in the hundreds of thousands of dollars, or it can be a percent. So you can have a real small deductible, and then you read your policy and you get hit by a hailstorm, it's a much higher deductible, a high percentage deductible, or a stated amount. And a lot of times people and consumers, apartment blocks, commercial property owners, condos aren't aware of that. And it's hidden in the details. Everybody always has that slogan, the devil's in the details. Really is when it comes to insurance policies. And Ed Levy has a program for a few hours if you pre-sign with him. And it's a commercial claim. He will give you a free policy review. I help Ed with that. It's a program we run together that starts in a few weeks. And it can be very beneficial when buying commercial property insurance. Ryan?
Yeah, I mean, I agree with you 100% on that portion. And also, if you're out there and you're an HOA, like I said, make sure that you're getting drone footage before hail season, just in case something happens and they try to tell you that it's old damage. So, as a facility manager or HOA or somebody that owns apartments and condos, that's something you should be looking at. But definitely agree and definitely give Ed a call. If you're in one of those situations before the hail hits, preferably, right, Ed?
Absolutely.
Yeah, because it's too late after the hail hits. Trying to think of some other instances where, in the hurricanes, so I'm also an adjuster out of Florida. In the hurricanes, people were really shocked when they had these 10% deductibles. They'd have $300,000 claims and a $500,000 deductible, and it's really not fair. Now, if you're a condo association, the big problem is you can be paying out of pocket.
Mm-hmm.
So with hail season coming into perspective, another great thing to do, some insurers are trying to argue that it's old hail damage because we get so many hailstorms in Colorado. So a really, really important thing now is if you can have your roofer or your expert get up once a year and take some photographs and document damages, because the new hailstorm comes along and they're saying, oh, this is old hail. Well, prove your roof's 15 years old, or prove your roof's only 3 years old, and sometimes permits aren't pulled, and it's really, really problematic, and it can create a nightmare too. Even if you go litigate, it's really, it makes it a little bit harder for the attorneys too, because it muddies the water. So you want to have the truth. You want to get your, if you have a commercial roof, especially, you want to get it documented and just be aware of what's going on. If you see other people getting claims, you want to get it documented, because one of the things I've been seeing in commercial claims, we'll have a new claim. We had an old claim. They didn't have the right representation, and there was forensic damage. And then now a new claim comes with good hail, and you got good damage, and then the insurance company, you didn't put the claim, and the insurance company will go do the forensics and prove that it's older damage and say, well, hold on, this hailstorm was baseball-size hail. We had a hailstorm 3 years later, 2 inch. You're outside the statute of limitations. And they've got a really good argument that the highest probability of damage happened 3 years before, because the kinetic energy was much more in that hail, and the membrane was already older, and they can forensically prove that it's highly probable the majority or most of the damage happened previous, and you can be out on a commercial claim millions and millions of dollars. And then let's get into some other components to be on the lookout for. And Ryan, I'll need your help on this, because let's pull our brains together here. One thing I've seen a lot is synthetic stucco damage, where the hail hits at the parapet cap wall on buildings, apartments, commercial buildings, even residential buildings. And it hits it, and nobody realizes it's damaged. And the water starts leaching in behind it, and we start having construction components expand, and then you'll see it on buildings sometimes. The building's maybe 10, 15 years old, and you'll see the synthetic stucco falling off.
Yeah, I mean, we see the same thing on stucco buildings in Colorado. The leaking starts, and typically, depending on how the building is done on the interior, they have gypsum. They typically run gypsum board, and then they run the insulation. It can take anywhere from a year to 2 years for that to start to leak. The other thing, if you're a commercial business owner, you should walk your property after a hailstorm, because what we see as well is that the framing gets hit on the windows, and the water starts to leach in underneath the frame, but it doesn't it runs down the back of the wall into the insulation. So if the building is built correctly, and in between it you have a vapor barrier, which is typically a 6 mil plastic or 10 mil or so forth, then you won't see it, won't go into the interior, but sometimes it does. So, I mean, as a business owner, that's another area that we see, or depending on what kind of siding you have, the siding's getting dinged up. And if you're walking it when it's not light out, or you don't have good sunlight, you're not going to see it. And sometimes that'll break the joints of the siding, depending on what you have, whether it's metal.
Right, and that brings a good point. I'm going to give the expert. You can reach any of the experts on this panel at 303-997-4247. That's 303-997-4247, or you can text 720-296-3492. And Ryan was bringing up a great point. If you get us out there right away after a storm, or it's after a storm even and we have another rainstorm coming, a lot of times we'll do moisture testing on the wall. We can do vector testing. We can do, infrared on the roof, and we can also do infrared on the walls. And if we can find where the leaks are, we can always locate the damage that happened from the hail. So there's some hailstorms out there, believe it or not. They'll have a bunch of small hail, 3/4 inch, 1.25 inch, and then like every 6 or 8 feet, they'll have like a 2-inch stone in there. So I've been on roofs just outside of Omaha one time where there was this storm. Very little hail fell, but it was 2.75 inches and actually fractured the shingles and the decking on all these houses that I was adjusting. And I'd have 4 or 5 major hits a house, and that's it. But these hits were busted the decking. Since you have to take a whole sheet of decking out, we're totaling all the roofs. But we do get those kind of storms in Colorado because we're so high. And you just want to get your experts out right away, make sure they're real experts so they have all the tools and they're fully set up. I'm here with Ed Levy. I'm here with Ryan from Blue Ribbon Exteriors. I was just looking at Dave, our guy, giving me the countdown. We got 1 minute left. And Stevie Solomon. And we got a real panel of experts here, public adjusters, roofers, general contractors, lawyers, shingle manufacturer reps. And you can reach any of us. Call into our number. It's 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Also text to 720-296-3492. And you can check out past shows and future shows at insuranceclaimsradio.com. That's insuranceclaimsradio.com. And that'll wrap us up to our next show.
Thank you for listening to Insurance Claim Radio. For more information on how to maximize your hail damage insurance claim or to contact Phil and his team, call 303-997-4247. And be sure to tune in next week for more Insurance Claim Radio.
Do you have a commercial property hail claim, troubled claim, underpaid claim, missed damages, bad faith, possible legal action? Rooftop Restoration is a leading hail loss consumer advocate for poorly handled insurance claims. We specialize in hail damage, large commercial claims, and provide the total claims package risk-free. We pay and cover all expert costs. Engineers, attorneys, roof inspectors, adjusters, we get you what you deserve under your insurance policy. Finance large deductibles, finance all the experts, exceptional experience and a stellar reputation with zero out-of-pocket costs. Risk-free. Rooftop Restoration. 303-997-4247. 303-997-4247. Check us out at rooftоprestoration.com.